live again. I'm going to start you out with this crowd. Kudos to you guys, you brewers, for keeping these people just so completely engaged. Look at that. Just look at that.
I mean, that's what we do.
That's the whole thing. Beer is the social lubricant, and we're seeing it live here today at the Rocky Point Clubhouse, Rocky Point, New York.
Kevin, you said the word lubricant.
But I said it in context. I'll bring us into focus here. I said it in context. You know what I mean? It's okay.
I still can't get over it whenever you say the word lubricant.
I understand.
Right.
As I was saying, these gentlemen, these guys, these brewers, they're responsible for that.
I apologize.
It's okay. It's
all right.
All right. I want to start by saying, Rob from Transmitter.
Yep. Transmitter Brewing, Long Island City.
Introduce yourself.
Brendan, Sand City Brewery.
But Brendan is a co-owner, but not necessarily the brewer, right?
Correct.
Okay, fantastic.
I can share those sentiments.
Yes, you're true. You're like kind of like on the totem pole of Rocky Point Artisan Brewers. You're here.
I let Mike make all the beer. I don't interfere.
You're like a lubricator.
I lubricate. when we need money, I write a check.
Okay.
Oh, that's your purpose.
What's your email address?
Yes. Oh, yeah. I could be assigned to any kind of brewery, actually. Yeah.
Let me play favorites for a second. I want to say this. I took my entire family, even people under 18, my kids, to Sand City less than a month ago. Okay. I just said, let's make a day trip to Northport. And I went to that little pier, and then I experienced, what I now know is pretty. You guys are a hot beer now. You're a hot brand.
Yeah, that's exciting.
And that's pretty cool, And I know that's going to change. You're not going to always remain hot, but let's just be honest.
Wait,
guys.
what?
Well, we're going to get to you. We're going to get to you because I think you're hotter.
I'm saying for these guys. Why
you're hotter. You're hotter. But
you're throwing them in the bus.
No,
that's
no.
horrible.
It's pretty cool because, I always liken the beer business, the craft brew business to the music business. It's like this, Hey, there was Aerosmith and that was, and that's really cool. You know what I mean? But I did taste your beer real time in that Northport location. I loved it. Really great.
Thank you.
Really great. I know you're not the brewer,
right?
But you're speaking for the brewer today. Welcome.
Thank you. And thanks for coming up to Northport. Yeah, we're definitely lucky. I mean, that's a great location we're in, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the hard Northport Village.
It's a village, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of foot traffic. You got the ice cream shops, very family-oriented, dog and kid-friendly. Some people like that. Some people don't. We get our... the Yelp reviews are rarely negative on the beer. Sometimes they're like, there were 12 dogs running around, But, that's what it's going to be.
Who doesn't like dogs and kids?
Yeah, it was some people, apparently. Yelpers. But,
well,
no,
those are bad people.
So we're going to come back to you in a second,
like
but I
dogs
want to
and kids.
introduce Rob, who's like our only brewer out of Long Island, and I know that Queens is Long Island. I understand that.
I don't know if
Long
people in
Island
Queens
City,
think that.
right?
Big Alice is here.
Okay. So
Can't forget
one big island, we understand that, but cool, man. Come west to all the way 60 miles east to Rocky Point. What do you think of this area, man? What's happening?
It's cool.
It's cool, right?
I just bought a house in Patchogue. So.
Man knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
Which is the reason why we're here. I've been going out to Montauk for years. I surf, fish, kiteboard, stand-up paddleboard, anything with water, and duck hunt, whatever. And picked a place between here in Montauk that we could actually afford to live for a weekend place. And
You did it.
we found it, and so we're about 25 minutes away from here, which made sense for us to do this festival, made sense for this hang out in the island. And the beer scene out here is amazing.
It is amazing.
It's, we brew beer on Long Island proper, even though it's Queens, and that sort of...
Can I ask about the name of the brewery, Transmitter? Because one of the reasons why I think about this is, we're right next to
Tesla, Marconi,
Shoreham here.
Right.
It's pretty cool.
Did that enter into the?
On the other side, in Brooklyn, is Transmitter Park.
Okay.
Which is New York City, WNYC's the first public radio, the oldest public radio in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They transmitted from Greenpoint, where my partner and I live, And we originally were going to open the brewery in Greenpoint, and then real estate prices took off right when we were trying to build a brewery.
Yeah, we know that neighborhood.
So basically, it's based on Transmitter Park, WNYC.
Yep.
The first sort of outside of Manhattan public radio.
So I'm gonna say something
Sure.
really quick, not
Absolutely.
to step on the time, but when Mike and I, Rocky Point Artists Brewers, when we were starting, I said, Mike, because we're right next door to this rich history, Nikola Tesla and all that. I said, why don't we call the brewery Wireless Brewery? He's like, nah, that sucks. So we could have been wireless, Rocky Point. So,
Did you know the history? Like literally here, the RCA 6,000 acres.
I
over
didn't.
here. This huge history here from Marconi and Tesla. It's within a few square miles from where we
That's
are.
cool.
Yeah.
So we are
I mean,
enamored with the name. Not even
Right.
tasting your beer, which we're going to get to very soon.
Actually, I was hoping we could taste it because
Let's do
I'm
it.
getting really thirsty.
Okay, let's
All
do
right,
it.
Let's do it.
What do you got?
So the first one I think is the you guys not that one.
Not that one. Okay.
Let's do the pomegranate stout. Sour, sorry. So it's a kettle sour.
Biscuits.
We do a lot
dough.
of it's very grain forward. We try to keep the souring sort of balanced. No off flavors. It should be really clean. And then we fruit a bunch of these beers with different fruits: passion fruit, blood orange. This is a new one that we're working on. Is the pomegranate. But it's all about like sort of balanced flavors.
Yeah, because
and-
this is really delicate compared to the. I mean, there's a really strong bread aroma. From
right.
from
Should be
yeast.
the grain forward.
And then what I get immediately is that fruit, but it's a delicate fruit.
Right.
It's not overpowering at all.
And sort of those things Anthony and I, my partner, really try to make are really balanced beers, and that's sort of what we've kind of been known for.
It's dry, stringent.
Yeah,
it's got that. It lingers with that. It's almost like cherries and. What other kind of fruit? I mean, it's like I guess I'm
it's
just getting a lot
stone
of
fruit almost.
Yeah?
but
Yeah.
like almost tropical in some way. Like
Okay.
we do a passion fruit version of this beer, which is similar, and the passion fruit brings a little bit more tartness to it. I think the pomegranates are not tart at all. They're very sort of sweet.
Yeah.
So you get sort of that lingering sort of.
Yeah. So this has a
Roundness,
a sweet fruit, but also a drying
Right.
finish.
Exactly.
Yeah. Very nice.
So that we brought, and then
Yep.
we also brought a black cherry stout.
That's this one?
Which is the next
Okay.
one.
All right.
So again, I want to accentuate for our viewers, our listeners, that this beer is brought here specifically for this festival. This isn't something that you find in, you go to your location and it's sitting in your box or your freezer or refrigerator. It's brought here for the festival, correct? You made this for this festival.
So these two beers are completely for this festival. We don't do a lot of cask beer. We own 2 casks.
Right.
And put
Right.
beer in them as we
They're
can.
both here.
Right.
Yeah, they're both here.
Right.
Wow.
And then, we definitely play with these beers as sort of, our brew house is only 7 barrels, 6 barrels, whatever.
He says
we-
only 7 barrels.
Right.
As if that were.
So we don't have a.
Well, it's not AB,
we don't do much pilot. Like it's sort of like
We're 1.5 barrels.
we're all in.
All right.
So
So 7's huge.
7 is enormous. I mean, it's vast. We could swim in 7 barrels, man.
well, we talk about sitting in the mash tun sometimes.
I mean, so the idea of the number of barrels you have is the product you're moving, correct, guys?
I don't.
And I'm so enamored by where do you move your product? Do you move it in your tasting room or do you move it out on the market for yourself? What's the answer to that?
So, yeah, as much as we can in the tasting room, and unfortunately, our tasting room is really tiny.
Yep.
It's one of the things we're trying to change and actually grow and get a bigger tasting room situation. But we distribute beer to 6 different states in bottles, and that sort of
Bucking the trend, not cans, bottles.
yeah. Well,
may change. He's about to tell us.
Yeah, so we started with 750s 3 years ago, and they did really well. And then people started canning beer. This guy next to me a lot.
Yeah,
you know.
I know. Yep.
But so we've actually changed package size to 500 milliliter, which is like 16 ounces, like almost a single serving, and that's actually doing really well. So we've heard from many different brewers and many different distributors that the 750 package is not doing well in the market.
Okay.
So, so for us, like moving forward, 500.
Why do you think that's the case? Is it just a little too much for people?
Yeah,
or,
I think that 16 ounce can is the equivalent to a 500 milliliter at 16.9 ounces.
Yeah, 12 ounces isn't really enough.
No, have you ever poured 12 ounces in a glass? You're like, where's the rest of it?
Yeah, it's not. And then I feel bad, if I have
if
you're
12 sharing it, obviously.
It's like 3 glasses, 3 can or whatever, and you're like, man, I feel like an alcoholic because I'm opening up 3 different things in a night. I'd rather just open 2 much larger.
Right. It's so the 750s sort of are overwhelming in some ways.
2 750s would be ideal.
So I want to make a comparison because I was in your tasting room and I look back and I saw these 3 or 4 silver tanks. Now, what does that translate to? What are you guys pushing out?
So we have a 10-barrel system.
Okay.
And we have 4 20-barrel fermenters, 2 10-barrel fermenters, which we are upgrading
This is the face of beer envy.
Okay, so this is what you aspire to.
So when
right?
you mentioned,
this is important, right?
So when you mentioned like what, how did you decide the size? We're in a pretty limited space, as you saw. We have a 2,500 square foot facility with tasting room. It's an old bowling alley from the early 1900s.
Didn't know that.
So it's 25 feet wide, 100 feet long. So we basically just divide it in the middle. The back half is production. The front half is tasting room. So we have 2 entrances, Scudder Avenue and Main Street. So when we were designing our system, and my brother is the brewmaster and complete founder, and this has been his baby. It's been his love child for a long time. We basically measured the height of the roof, and we put the biggest equipment we could in there, and we just rolled out the dice and said, we're going for it. We've looked at the trends of most breweries expanding within the first...
Somebody kicked the keg.
Tanya.
Something's going on there. Something's going on there.
Sour just kicked Tanya.
All right.
Oh, nice. Good.
All right. Fantastic. Coming back to you guys.
So we watched a lot of the trends where people were starting out at a 5-barrel system and then switching to a 10, and the cost of upgrading and everything. We figured the value was there in betting on ourselves and just putting the biggest system we possibly could in there. So we literally have a 1-inch clearance above our 20-barrel fermenters in our roof. So my brother's a math teacher. We sat there. We built fake. We built fake fermenters and stood them up.
Nice.
With the true scale to see, because my brother's like, well, the hypotenuse is going to actually...
Right.
Yeah. So we literally had like many, many nights standing there like, I personally was panicking. I'm like, Kev, call it off. We can't get them in there, but because we were also, I know it's stupid, but we did everything ourselves, right? We
That's what I find that every one of these brewers do everything themselves.
Well, and it took us 10 months to build out the brewery.
Okay.
Right? So it did take a long time. In hindsight, probably been a lot easier to hire a professional. But we did it all ourselves. We kind of tapped ourselves on the back for that and said, that's it. It's a craft. Everything should be craft. So we did it all ourselves, and it came down to us pouring our own floor and taking into account the inch of flooring that we were putting in compared to the inch of ceiling space that we had, and it was a very stressful moment when the trucks showed up with the barrels in them. It was definitely, especially since the forklift operator is my brother, brewmaster Kevin Seiler, and he took forklift operation classes like a week before that, so it was literally one of the most tense situations you could imagine.
So give me an idea. Well, who do you guys sell beer to?
So
what's the percentage? I'm always
really
enamored
cool
by
people.
Of course, people that are on the up and up about what is cool and good. It is great beer, by the way.
Thank you.
But I mean, give me a percentage. What percentage to tasting room? What percentage to the outside?
So it shifted when we got the canning line. Right, the canning line definitely changed a lot of that because suddenly that 10-barrel batch or the double batch 20 that we were brewing that would sustain the tasting room for 2 weeks and also handle all of our accounts. We had about 50 accounts out there. mostly very local. We're self-distributing, so it was Northport, Huntington, Smithtown, anywhere that we would be willing to drive.
Yes.
Right? So those bars started taking us on, and they were ordering one keg because we opened in October, so they were ordering a keg every couple weeks, and then suddenly the summer came around, and that one keg a couple weeks turned into 4 kegs a week, and that became a challenge to keep up with demand on that end.
Yeah.
And then you throw into that, now suddenly we're canning beer, and instead of having 20 barrels of beer, 40 kegs to distribute, turned into 150 cases and 10 kegs, and things, and the 150 cases would sell out within a day or so. So the whole method had to kind of adapt as we rolled
On
out.
the fly.
Absolutely. I mean, we're very grateful to have the success we've had, and it's happened faster than we expected. We did have a business plan, and that all gets rolled up and thrown out the
Real
window.
quick, what about the name Sand City? Where did it come from?
Sand City is an homage to the area there. Locals definitely know it. Sand City is a beach off of the coast of Huntington and Northport right there. It comes from Steer and Gravel company back in the turn of the century there. They were actually dredging sand out, sending it out to Manhattan, building bricks and the streets and everything that was helped to build Manhattan. So when you see our website, it says take a small thing and make it something.
So it's organic as can be, really.
So a lot of the locals there are like, Sand City, like, I lost my virginity there. That was my first date. I got kissed there, because it was this little spot off the coast there where you would take a boat over to it. There was an actual facility there that closed down a long time ago, but the facility remained, and it became a draw. And people painted big steal your face heads on it and graffitied it all up. And it was a spot back in the 70s where people would just go, and you do what you do in the 70s.
And lose their
it's
virginity.
So there's a lot of nostalgia. People come in there and go, then the name really strikes a bell for the locals. And it also kind of expands outside that. I think it's just a kind of cool name. In sand and city, it's nature and industry, and they kind of combine.
Works well. It's catching on. Since you've moved out to the island, is that the idea is to bring your brand out?
I mean, in some small way, but not in any. Most everything we put in kegs is distributed in New York City. We don't have the capacity.
Right.
That being said, we'd love to get bottles out here and get people that come. A lot of people come out to New York City and check out the breweries, and we had a dozen people downstairs say, "Oh, you've been to your brewery. We love the beer. We'd love to see it out here." We'll try to make that happen.
I have a question for both of you. When you set out to make beer, and I realize you're not the brewer, but maybe you can answer for your brother.
Sure.
When you set out to get in this business, is it in your mind, and Donovan, this is for you too, do you set out to say, make the best product because one day I'm going to be acquired by a bigger company? Is it some about that, nothing about that? You don't think about that? What
It's nothing.
Not even a little.
It's not, right?
It's not about that at all.
Not at our size and what we do. Like, that's not interesting to.
You can't get into it with that mindset, And we're fortunate to happen to like the same beer that a lot of other people seem to like, because we're brewing what we like. We brew what we enjoy. We don't want to just conform and luckily right now
position and reposition.
No, right, exactly.
You are who you are, and you're going forward.
And
with
if you come to the brewery, we are known. Obviously, those cans, the big East Coast IPAs, right? Like the hazy, juicy IPAs, which everybody loves. But you come into our brewery, you're going to find some really nice clean Belgians. You're going to find some really nice stouts, imperial stouts. We do some souring. We have a barrel aging program going on. The beer you have there, we split the barrels. We split the batch into 2 separate. So that's the Rebellion Stout. We did put some of it in bourbon barrels for a few months. So, it's really about enjoying your craft, doing what you enjoy, and hopefully people, join on and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate it. And the feedback's been great, and we're just really living the dream. My brother, it's really been amazing. God bless my brother. He really he's got one of those mentalities where he puts his foot down. He kind of just decides that he's going to do it. We've had this plan in place for 10 years, literally. Mm-hmm. And he's mortgaged his house to try to make it happen before.
I've heard these stories.
Yeah. And
it doesn't always work.
And
out.
the plan has changed. It was a brew pub. It was a little system. It was a little 2-barrel system. It conformed. the space became available in Northport,
Right, and you build into it.
and we looked at it
Conform
and we
to it,
said,
yeah.
look, if you're going to take this space, this is what you got to be. And we just kind of, again, like
I mean,
said,
I'll just say we have a lot of people ask what you would do differently in building transmitter and any brewery that opens, and we always tell people open bigger than you possibly can. Like, no matter what you have to do, you can't open big enough, and that goes up to not 35, 40 barrels, but someone trying to open their own brewery,
right.
and on the cheap, 2 barrels is not sustainable.
Meaning there's not enough beer to be profitable.
Well, you just have to work so hard.
There's not enough beer.
It's a great point. You know what I asked both of you, and I haven't asked any of the brewers this, do you partner with people that provide food? Do you either by referring or suggesting food down the street or food trucks? Because we haven't talked about that because, I mean, beer and food go so together.
Right. Oh, yeah, we get asked
And,
every day, like,
I'm sure.
what's that food? Do you have food? We have pretzels.
Okay,
So we-
okay.
We have chips.
But yeah, that's the...
I mean, we definitely support Northport, the town we're in, and
Right, so this-
we make sure that every bar in that town, if they want a keg of ours, they're getting it, even if it's a limited release. If they want that big IPA,
Right, because the idea is if you went too much into food, you wouldn't be providing,
Well,
to the restaurant. They'd be like, hey, come on,
it's a
stay in your
different
business.
industry, too. Like I said, we're doing what we love, and we don't love. I mean, we all like food, but none of us are chefs. We don't cook.
Right.
We don't really want to be in that industry.
Right.
We're positioned right in there between a bunch of restaurants and bars that are serving food, and it's a great relationship where they're happy to serve our beer. We're happy. I get asked every single day when I'm working the tap room, where do I go to eat? I said, look, if you want a burger, you go here. If you want a bigger menu, you go there. If you got
Excellent.
kids, you go there. That place is dog friendly. And you just
Fantastic. And they're referring back, of course. What about your situation in New York?
So super small, no room for food truck. There's a bunch of breweries that do food trucks.
Which is kind of cool. I like that.
I love it. I think
do
it's
too. Yeah,
moving
absolutely.
forward and whatever next space we get into. Hopefully there'll be a food truck situation or restaurant close. But people can order food, and we do the same thing. Where do you want to eat? In Queens or City or
Right.
Brooklyn, wherever you're going, we'll tell them where to eat.
Right.
Right.
My partner and I are very big into food. I think our beer sort of lends itself towards that. Any new place or, we always try to send people to the...
Right. So it's a referral type basis at this
Yeah, I mean, like, to have food in New York City is another level of craziness that you can't even imagine.
I just want to talk about your beer for a second. That bottle, I think it's 22 ounces that you guys are starting to do.
Right, yeah.
This is
750,
Rocky
yeah.
Point Artisan Brewers.
Right.
That dark, almost like amazing, dark reddish bottle, which I experienced the other day. It's amazing. It's just really a cool, transportable.
But yeah, so
Great bottle.
One of the things that for the last 5 years, we've been trying to do mainly, on tap. Six stills, selling to bars, beer places. It's not been very good for us in terms of profitability. It's a lot of work, not a lot of, a lot.
Bigger system.
yeah.
Okay, so
Barrel and a half, he said.
So right. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of work, not a lot of.
Right.
For our format, the 750 bottle is actually on the breaking edge of for one guy working,
Okay.
just about sustainable. And we'll see how that goes. Because, but yeah, one of the things I did early on when I was calculating, I'm a guy with a spreadsheet. I was like, yeah, we've got to get bigger quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And it just hasn't worked out for us in terms of making that money out of production.
Right.
And I guess that initial investment certainly is that solution. But what we were hoping was that we could build to that, and maybe through doing these 750s.
Yes, that's it. The 750s. Yeah, I love it
we,
for you guys.
We could, in time build up the.
I mean, these are like sealed with. I don't know if you guys have experienced it. If you see it downstairs, they're sealed with the wax, and
I love it.
I mean,
Yeah.
besides the fact it's a great product. It is.
Yeah.
And again, we're 8 to 10 years down the road now, and you really have procured your product in a great way.
Yeah,
It's come a long way.
right. So so I'd say anybody, you're right. I would say definitely go bigger. We just were space limited, also capital limited when we started.
Yeah, you guys are really conservative. I get it.
Well, and poor.
Yeah. All right.
We're just guys.
But yeah, but yep, I get it. But they have a great. If you guys haven't tried it, they have a great product, Rocky Point Artists. And you know what? They're the host of today's event. That's really the most important.
It's a great
They're
event.
the host of this amazing event.
It's my second year coming
you know,
here, 2
it's
years
cool.
in a row.
And I know they were enamored with both you guys coming. You know, you guys are kind of outside the box right now, and you're in the box now, and we totally appreciate it. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, glad to be
Thanks for
here.
coming on.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys.
You know,
Thanks
we'll
for
be
having us.
hanging with you guys soon.
And part of the best part of the industry is that, like, today, I never met Rob before, but we happen to be stationed next to each other.
Oh, cool.
And we've been talking all day, and I think he's a great guy, and I met a lot of great people in this industry, and it just keeps on snowballing.
Actually, that's one thing I will say is, I've been doing beer on Long Island for nearly 15 years now, and one of the things I really love is the people that are involved in it.
Oh, of course.
All of
Absolutely.
us are to a person friendly, and just very
Open.
and
We were halfway through a brew the other day, and we realized that we didn't have any sour malt, and we had to call up
Another brewer.
Yeah, we called up Oyster Bay, and they said come on over, and they wouldn't take $1 from us, and it was just happy to help.
So,
it's amazing.
Same thing in New
know-
York City.
Yeah, it's
You
incredible.
wouldn't find that in the gasoline business, would you?
No, you won't.
No, so it's a privilege to be associated with such good people, and I wouldn't even taint it with the word industry. I would say we
Brotherhood.
all of us- It's
is.
and
Fraternity.
I think still out here it's
and
certainly
sisterhood too. I mean, there's women involved in the in the production of beer.
Okay.
Um,
Brother and sister. Beards group, which you don't have.
I do not have a beard, but I'm envious of that. But I'm in solidarity with our feminine counterparts.
Well, listen, I hear the music. I hear the music still going out there. I have not tasted nearly enough beer, so we're cutting this off.
All right.
We've had a great broadcast. It's been great.
I didn't screw up.
You know what? You
No,
guys
you
did
did
great. You know what? Hold up a
But-
glass.
but-
Hold up
but-
the glass of life.
But you could have.
I could have. I may have. I don't even know.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.
It's always a
Transmitter,
possibility.
Sand City, and RPAP.
Beautiful.
We're out. Thanks for
Beautiful.
tuning in, guys.
Cheers.
This is an experiment in time. Thanks again. Rocky Point Artisan Brewers, Long Island Nano Cask Festival.